Yeah. I used to, my mom used to spank me.
Is the heater helping? It's the second thing she said.
My mom used to spank me when I was little, which is a good thing. I think that parents should spank their kids because, I mean, it makes you respect them. Like, I have great respect for my mother as an adult. I couldn't do anything without my mother, it feels like almost, but
I agree.
she's helped me a lot through my entire life and done everything she possibly could for me, and I really do appreciate that from her. But she spanked me like every good mother should to their children.
Well, my mom never did, but of course I have a bone disease. But my stepdad sure as hell did some form of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but she had this spoon that she called the spanking spoon, obviously, and it was wooden. I used to hide that bitch. Like, it stayed with all the other spoons, but it was that one specifically that she used on me, and I used to hide it when I knew I was about to get spanked. I hid it behind a couch, and she never found it again. She never found it again, but I will tell you, she used a different spoon to my surprise.
I would have never thought of doing that. Hide the fucking spoon.
Always hide it, dude. My dad used to give me. One time I went to stay at my dad's house with him, and I never liked going to my dad's house. One time I freaked out when he came to pick me up, and I ran over to my neighbor's house and hid at my neighbor's house, and my dad had to come look for me. He was very pissed off at me, which made me not want to go even more. But one time I went over there, and I used to suffer from really bad ear infections when I was a child, which has gone away, thank God, because I had a hole in my ear from tubes, and I had to get a tympanoplasty to repair it. They took a skin graft from the back of my neck, or the back of my ear, and basically glued it to my eardrum. Well, my dad used to come get me every other weekend, and one time I had a really bad ear infection when he got me, so he took me to the doctor, and he got me the wrong. I didn't know what kind of antibiotics I used because my mom always got them for me, and it was the really good kind, you know, the fucking bubblegum kind you get when you're a kid that tastes fucking amazing, right? You remember that shit?
No.
You don't remember getting bubblegum antibiotics and it tasted like fucking the best thing ever?
I don't know. Not really.
Well, anyways, there was I'm pretty sure that, you know, most people will know what it is because not everybody's taken opioids their entire life.
Shut up. 13's when I started taking that shit.
Well, he got the wrong kind, and it tasted so fucking bad, and he mixed it with milk. It was like a really sour, nasty
I've had some bad
antibiotic, and he tried to get me to take it with chocolate milk. First time I took it, and it was so, I can't even explain to you how bad it was. I can still taste it. I was really young. I could still taste it, so I know it scarred me for life because I can still fucking taste it. But anyways, I hid that shit behind the couch. I got it. He gave me this. I took one glass of it the day I got it, and I was like, okay, you know, this isn't too bad. I can fucking gulp this down and not have to deal with a ear infection. But I think the second day he made it way more potent, or either he made it more potent or didn't put any of it in this first day at all. So the second day I was just, you know, with this fucking shitty ass drink that he had made me, chocolate milk mixed with some sour ass fucking antibiotic, and I hid that bitch behind his recliner. He never said anything to me about it. Never said, hey, did you hide this or anything like that. Probably because he knew that I was just fucking done with it. But I only stayed 2 days, and that was the second day he gave it to me. I told my mom, obviously. I told my mom the truth. It was fucking awful. Any story like that?
No.
You don't remember anything like that growing up?
I've taken shitty antibiotics, but I don't have stories for them.
Well, when I was a kid, I didn't like taking medicine at all. Any kind of medication.
I was obviously raised taking that shit. I don't guess you could say raised. I mean, doctors gave it to me. So, I guess I'm kind of used to it.
And I'm sure if I had to take shitty medication for. I was spoiled with that bubblegum antibiotic because if anybody know, Matt knows about it. If anybody knows about the bubblegum antibiotic, then they know that it was literally like a childhood staple. Most kids my age in the mid-20s will know what bubblegum antibiotics was and how fucking amazing it was to taste. I vape, and one time I ordered a Zample box. I used to be a member of Zample Box, which is a very unfortunate company. They should fucking end that company ASAP because they only send you the worst fucking juice. And this is not an exception to that because it got to the point where it was overwhelming. But they sent me a flavor that was almost identical to the bubblegum antibiotic, and I went crazy about it for about a week, and inevitably fucking ended up hating it. But I still think I'd really like the bubblegum antibiotic, though, because that's something that I cannot rid from my memory.
Yeah.
What do you have to say, Derek?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just so no one gets the wrong idea, I guess if you're have broken over 300 bones in your life, you're gonna be kinda you're gonna have taken a shitload of.
Tell us your story, Derek. Tell us
drugs.
the extended story of your life.
I was born fucked up. I took some drugs, and I'm here, podcasting.
Extended. Elaborate on it for me.
Well, I separate my stories because I normally don't talk about the shit that's wrong with me physically. So there's either gonna be stories of me and my disease or normal stories, like just stories, having sex, trying to get laid, stories, or you can get the disease portion, which is a whole different, an entirely different
I'll
book.
let you decide which one you want to tell.
I don't care
which side of the story you want to focus
people
on.
Want to hear? People hear a lot of normal stories.
Obviously they want to hear or want to know whether or not, probably want to hear about what it is exactly that you're affected by, and then they probably would rather fucking hear about you trying to get laid than hear about your hospital visits and shit.
It's not all trying.
Although you can
nowadays it's trying, but it didn't used to be. I was a cute little wheelchair fucker when I was younger, and it came easy. But now I'm 23 and I've gotten a little bit fatter, and I'm just fucking weird looking, and chicks don't dig shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised. You'd really be surprised. People look at you and they'd be like, oh, I bet girls love you. I bet you could get pity fucked so easily. But when you're me, you would realize how people look at you like scum, dude. Like chicks, 90% of them want no part in this shit.
That's fucked
you know
up.
what I'm saying?
I
expect it. I'm kind of the same way. I'm cynical as fuck.
Women are typically more vain than men when it comes to seeking a partner. Even though women like to say that we're dogs or what have you about women, but honestly, they don't. This is why if I was considered an activist for anything, I would want to be considered a men's rights activist.
Me too.
Because I feel like women have spoiled being a man. Like it's always been more easy for women to do certain things than it is for men. And especially now, they get jobs easier than men. Men are left out nowadays when it comes to certain things.
I just don't like how that nowadays the housewife is being looked down upon. Raising children is looked down upon like it's a bad thing. Like women are, shitty if they're not a working woman and being a CEO and all this and that. I think it's just as good to women are the only ones that can have children. It's a miracle that they shit out a child. You know what I'm saying? And it's the most important job in the world, raising children. We're here because of that, and I just don't like how it's becoming lower and lower and
it
lower
should be
on the scale of
being a being a productive member of society should be step 2 in a human's goal. Step 1 should be to obviously should be to grow up and have kids
and raise your children
and raise your children better than your parents raised you, because you always want better for your children. I don't have children personally, but I know from every good parent I've ever met that all they care about is their children's well-being and their children's health in life. So it takes a pretty shitty parent not to care about those things, and there are pretty shitty parents out there that are just having kids to get money from the government, which is so fucking wrong.
Yeah. My real father was a shitty parent. I never met him. Never seen a picture of him.
Yeah.
My entire life.
I want to say, my dad's been on and off as a good parent, mostly bad, and I don't think he would disagree with that. I mean, he texts me and tells me pretty often that he feels bad for it, but it is his fault, and I'll admit that.
I think one of the main reasons it hits me that hard when they go to shitting on the housewife is because I think my mom had the hardest job in the world, and I think she did incredible with that job. She had 4 kids. One of those kids having a really rare bone disease. Well, I don't even remember the name of it. I was gonna
osteogenesis imperfecta.
Yeah, that shit. But it's a pretty rare disease, and I guarantee you a good 80% of the population would abort that child if they knew their kid had something like that. But my mom doesn't look at shit like that. Like, she found out she had me. My real dad wanted an abortion, but of course she wasn't gonna let that happen. But she fucking slaved over raising me. And she had 3 other kids to raise, and one of those kids has autism. So she had a spectacularly hard job, and I think she did incredible raising me. And I think it's the most important and hardest job in the world, and I think she's better than any fucking CEO or president of whatever company.
That's right.
And to make someone like that look as if they're just lazy or they don't want much in life or whatever.
People like that have accomplished everything they want from life. If you buy into the whole thing, like you don't need a man or you don't need kids or anything like that to be happy in life, that you can. I guess you can kind of trick yourself into thinking that, but honestly, that's what we're here for. That's what all animals are here for. We're all here to procreate. That's what all animals do. If you have 2 rabbits in a cage, or 2 rabbits of the opposite sex in a cage, they're not just gonna sit there with each other and be awkward like humans would. They'll just start fucking.
One's over there writing a book, and the other one's fucking trying to invent something.
I used to not want kids, but the older I get, the more I realize that I do want kids at some point. Definitely not now.
I don't, but
at this point, but
I don't want kids, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I know it's. I think having children is the most important thing you can do, but myself personally, I'm not in a state where I could raise a child the best that he could be raised. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, you could.
Especially if I had a child with my disease, I couldn't take that on. Like, I know all the shit my mom's been through. I couldn't do it. There's no way.
Oh, so you're saying you couldn't take on a kid having the same disease as you?
That or just a kid.
Oh. I don't know.
It would be all up to the wife. I could be there mentally, but...
Mentally?
Yeah, I could help him out with his problems, but I couldn't fucking play baseball with him and raise him right and beat his ass when he does something stupid.
Yeah. That's why you got good-ass uncles like me, dude. Go have a fucking kid, Derek. Just do it, dude.
I don't have...
Just do it so that I can...
Even if I had a woman that wanted to have a kid with me, I don't know too many, especially the girls I've been with. I wouldn't have a kid with any of them. They're all fucking batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
Most women our age are. You gotta find like a good fucking like girl who's like been committed to like school her entire life and like doing well in college and stuff. If you really want to find a girl that's gonna be good in the future, because they obviously have their priorities straight. You want to find somebody who doesn't necessarily. I mean, if you're gonna love somebody, you gotta love the whole package.
I think that's a good thing. That's another good thing about accidental pregnancies. I guarantee you, we'd have half the population we'd have right now if every child that was born was on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like if planning for a child, me and you know that if you were planning to have a child, it would take you a long time to find a woman you wanted to have a child with. It would take you a while to get financially stable, you know, to your own. You know, how you think you would be stable or whatever. I think accidental pregnancies are good. Like, oops, I'm pregnant, now we're having a kid, you know. Like, I think it would take a lot longer to plan to have a kid.
I don't know if it's better.
I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it's a good thing, and it's probably the reason half of us are here. I know I was an accident.
You think that's how it happened with Kenneth?
Yeah, they're all accidents. Every single one of them. She didn't know she was going to get pregnant. She was just having sex.
Katie didn't?
Oh, no, she didn't either. No. She's got a thing in her arm. The thing that stops.
Shit.
Yeah.
She's got the birth control?
She's got the thing that stops pregnancies, and she got pregnant. I swear.
That's scary.
It was an accident. But now I'm gonna have another nephew.
Thank God Donald Trump's gonna fucking get rid of all these abortion plans and stuff, because it's funny that there's like a percentage of the population that wants abortion, wants pro-choice, and all that bullshit. I understand, I really do. If I was gonna have a kid right now, you cannot say if you were gonna have a kid right now you wouldn't at least consider the option of abortion.
No, I wouldn't. There is nothing in the world that can make me consider abortion, and
I'm too young.
I hate when people. Maybe I'm just an asshole, but people's biggest excuse is rape, you know, or incest. What would you do? I can understand incest, you know. Okay, you don't want a child by your dad or whatever, but. I think life is more important than anything that's ever happened to you. I think having a child is more important than anything that's ever happened to you. And to, I don't know, to give that up, I think most reasons you'd just be fishing for a reason. But have the fucking kid, give it away, do what you got to do. It's 9 months. Now, incest, rape, you know, that's considerable. Big, crazy circumstances like that. Whatever, but
can't keep talking, motherfucker.
No, I lost track of what I was saying. Dylan's going to take a poop. Just kidding. He's cleaning his dab rig. But yeah, even though I say I don't want a kid, ever probably, if I got some hoe pregnant, or even a good girl, anyone, if I got anyone pregnant, I wouldn't consider abortion. I would do anything I possibly could in my power to raise the kid as best I could.
So, my philosophy on it is, if you're not prepared to have kids, don't have sex. Unprotected, at least. But
I say the same thing. Don't if you don't want a fucking kid, don't have sex.
So this is what I'm gonna do.
Or at least if you're not, if you think having a kid would be the end of the fucking world and you would abort that child, maybe you shouldn't be having sex.
Why indulge in the pleasure if you don't want the consequences? I think that life is almost like a big movie. Okay? It's like a big fucking movie. Alright? And the movie we're living in right now is a movie where our entire infrastructure in the United States and around the world is trying to control our every move by imagery, things that we see in the media and things that we see in movies are trying to control us as a whole. And I think that the part of the liberal agenda is really concerned about pro-choice, right? And the ability to, or the what am I trying to say? The option to just have sex whenever you want and not really consider the consequences. But if we buy into that, then our entire society would go straight downhill because people wouldn't want to have kids anymore. There wouldn't be, of course, there are going to be people that are raised right under the right mindset to be able to have kids when they're older and take care of them. But there are some people that are completely fucked when it comes to having kids, and I don't want to see them have kids. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but the whole world's a fucking movie.
Well, I know
they're trying to they're trying to control us.
Yeah.
I really do think that they're trying to control us. I think that
100%.
our current government is one single step below China because they're monitoring us like they do in China. I have friends that have gone over to China to get a baby, to go get their Chinese baby. I call him Kim Jong Ray because his name's Ray, and he looks like a little Asian dictator. I think they should put him in like a tiny pantsuit or something. Anyways, so and they've told me stories about their experience in China and what happened there. They watched a guy walk out in front of a bus and kill himself while they were there. Not only that, but he pulled his computer out and connected to the Wi-Fi at the hotel there, and security came and were monitoring him.
Yeah.
Remotely from his computer.
That's pretty crazy.
And he could tell he's computer savvy, so he could tell when somebody was monitoring him.
Well, back on the abortion thing, a friend, McGraw, well, he's not really a friend, he's just a douchebag, but he was talking to me about it one day, and we were talking about how my real father wanted an abortion, and he was like, you know, look at you, look at your life and how shitty it's been. Wouldn't you have rather just, you know, not have been born? And I'm like, that's a shitty way of looking at things. Of course, I've had a pretty shitty life. Things have been pretty bad. But I still 100% would have rather been born than not. I'm glad I'm here, is what I'm saying. I thank God for existing. But then again, I guess I've had enough good times in my life to outweigh the bad and to know that, you know, maybe there are people out there that would rather be dead than go through the shit that they're going through. But I think we are extremely grateful, more than we know, for existence. I think we
should be more grateful for existence.
None of us fucking deserve to be alive.
You know,
but somehow, miraculously, we're here. You know what I'm saying? We could not be here, but some fucking how we're here right now, talking to each other, and it's insane. Like, we don't deserve it. Existence could be nothing. It could be a giant turtle. It could be a fucking floating turd. We're extremely lucky. It's a miracle that we're alive right now. And
we don't know what the next place is, but
people think their shit doesn't fucking stink, and they deserve. They were owed this life, and they were given it, and they could fucking take it away whenever they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is a miracle that we should be fucking extremely grateful for.
For the life we've been given. It's kind of hard for me to really appreciate it sometimes.
It is for me too.
'Cause we all have hard shit that happens to us, and you know, I've been through some shit. Obviously, you know, to a lesser physical extent than Derek has gone through, I'm sure. But you know, I've had emotional setbacks in my life, and
people's problems are just as bad to them as mine have been to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, stepping back from yourself, from your own personal wants, you have to look at what I don't know what I'm trying to say. You have to look at what, in my opinion, you have to look at what God wants you to do.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm a hypocrite for saying that, because I really don't. I don't look at it like that. You know, I focus on myself probably more than I should. You know, I honestly, it's selfish for me to be. In my own opinion, it's selfish for me to be such good friends with Derek. Does that make sense?
I don't know what you mean.
It's selfish for me. I don't know why it is. I feel really selfish for it.
I would hate life if you weren't here, dude. I'd be fucking miserable right now.
Because I like taking care of you, dude.
Yeah, and I'm extremely fucking lucky for that. More than you know, dude.
You're like my wife. No strings attached, though.
Yeah. It's crazy this went from making fun of Evan to life and existence and abortion,
right?
And God and everything. It's cool.
And we've been going on for like quite a while now. Probably about 2 hours.
You could do.
Oh shit.
1 hour. You could do whatever with this. You could split it up.
I could, yeah.
Do whatever.
I'm gonna do it right in front of your face, so I don't fucking not do it. All right. You gotta stay in. You gotta fucking stay in here while I'm editing this shit.
Shit. All right.
Okay, so I don't have to fucking. Because if you leave and I don't have any kind of motivation to fucking do this, I will not do it. I gotta get back in the. See, when I was in high school and I was editing videos, I would literally come home from class, and I would either A, play Modern Warfare 2 for the rest of the fucking night, or B, I'd be with Evan and we'd be doing something fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Or C, I'd be editing a video for this YouTube channel, but it was like 5 years ago. So, back when YouTube was YouTube and not basically Google with a fucking video with videos.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I think YouTube should have stayed. Weren't they independent?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny how I could 100% for sure. I don't even remember then. I don't remember anything from then, but I could 100% sure tell you what I was doing, because it's crazy that whatever I was doing for years and years and years until I moved out. I was either playing a video game or masturbating, and I was for sure in my house, in my room, doing one of those two things.
What do you mean? When?
Then.
5 years ago, when YouTube was
5
YouTube?
5 years ago, the time that you're talking about, I'm saying I know what I was doing, because I've been doing those same two things for years until I moved out. I was at home for sure. You can name 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Let me go back a little bit for myself. Okay, I lived here I lived in Mississippi. I won't say where, for 18 years, and then I moved out when I turned 18, and I graduated high school. A month before I turned 19, or 2 months before I turned 19, I went into the military, and stayed in the military till I was 22. I was married at one point when I was in the military. It was a terrible mistake, and we'll go into that later. Maybe not in this video. Probably not in this video, because I really don't give a shit. And I don't want it to go on for another fucking 3 hours. So, anyways, I got out of the military earlier this year, 2016. February was when I got out, February 2nd. And, yeah, I've been living back in Mississippi. I was living in Louisiana, and before that, Texas.
Not to admit, he fails to mention that he was married and has a house in
Yeah,
Louisiana.
I did say I said I was married and I wasn't gonna go into it.
Oh, I thought you were saying you weren't gonna go
I
into
bought
the
her a
army
house.
shit.
I bought her a house. She really wanted this house, and I bought it for her.
God.
So okay, so we wanted the house. I was like, I'm tired of living in the fucking apartment. We're serious about this, and we were at the time. So we got a house. We went house shopping. I went house shopping for months. She worked all the fucking time.
I don't see how we get along so well. We are like polar opposites. Like, you've done shit with your life and been places. I've done nothing.
But
I've gotten laid a few times. That's about it. Literally. That's my stories.
well,
Been laid a few times. Used to play guitar. That's it. Quit
Yeah.
school in 9th grade because I broke my spine. That's about as good as it gets, dude. I mean, I have some pretty crazy.
that
stories.
doesn't make us opposites though. I think that when it comes to nitty gritty, me and you are exactly the same. I just have the ability of walking and being what if anybody wants to talk about equality, let it be Derek. It cannot be some fucking stupid college bitch who's been turned over by more fucking dudes than she has fingers on a drunk fucking night. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be Derek that can talk about this shit. They cannot have the ability to talk about equality. If anybody wants equality, it should be fucking, people who are actual or real people and aren't fucked up in the head like a goddamn retard or something.
Yeah. I'm thankful I'm not like that, though.
So if
I
a
agree
normal
with you,
a
but
normal
I agree with you, but I'm super glad I'm
but
not
what
one
I'm
of those
saying
fuckheads.
but what I'm saying is that he doesn't care about that. And why do people care about that shit when it really doesn't apply to them?
Yeah, their happiness and their
success
doesn't.
We've
doesn't
had
rely on it.
like almost total equality in the United States for some time now, quite a while.
Mhm.
And who gives a fuck what you and your friends call yourself? Like if I'm working at fucking Starbucks, I shouldn't know your goddamn pronoun when you walk into the fucking store. If you're a girl, you're a girl. If you're a guy, you're a guy. If you're a guy trying to be a girl, you're gonna be a guy. Okay? So it really doesn't make sense to me. So I shouldn't be devolved to a level where I'm having to call you something that I don't think you are.
Mhm.
Or you think you are.
That's another part of the control that you talk about. They're controlling us, trying to force us to believe in nonsense,
Yeah.
bullshit, and make believe things that they cannot base facts on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is another, and it's.
You can get sued if you consider yourself a fucking fish, and someone else tells you you're not a fish. You can sue the fuck out of them, dude. That's crazy. Like, I guess if you went far enough with it.
Yeah.
Like, got it on your birth certificate. And
Nobody,
everything.
but no lawyer is going to, and no judge, no jury will give that to anybody who is that stupid.
They have. It's a little bit
Well,
of an exaggeration, but of course, but.
No, like what
That's how I
mean
see
is
it.
in a place like Hattiesburg, if you want to call yourself a fish, you're just gonna get laughed at by everybody.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But if you're in Los Angeles and you're in a place where every fucking starting out lawyer will take any fucking case they can.
Yeah.
That doesn't make them look like, well, it does make them look like a total idiot, but. It's stupid. It's government. It's the lawyers that work with the government on every case. The big fucking lawyers in New York that'll take these cases and like in in California. I think it was a California, New York, or whatever. The gay lawyer fucking bakery, or the gay couple bakery.
I know what
wedding.
you're talking about, but I don't know where it was.
Yeah.
But the point is you know, we're forced to believe through the media, through everything else. We're forced to believe bullshit, fantasy that has no fact based on it, and equality and blah blah blah, and you know, shit. It just doesn't matter.
And it won't end here. It'll keep getting worse until something fucking happens.
Yeah.
This is why Donald Trump was elected, is because everyone sees how bad this shit's gotten, how bad the control's getting. At some level, if they hate people that go around saying that they want them to call them a fourth or eighth gender, they hate seeing that shit. So they said, shit, they support Hillary. I don't want to fucking have anything to do with that bitch.
Yeah, we're podcasting. What's up?
You can talk.
Anyways, shit. What was I just about to say? I lost my train of thought. A friend came in the room.
I was saying that nobody wants anything to do with Hillary, so they voted for Trump.
I agree.
Normal people don't want to fucking have to deal with shit like that, so they want to stop the control. So these are the foundations of America. Is not have the government not having much control over its people. Like, we shouldn't even be paying for taxes on welfare. Our federal taxes should be our state taxes should be or not state taxes. Sorry. Our main tax that we pay on food or whatever should be enough to sustain the government to some extent, to most of the extent, and then we should have our taxes should be way lower, because we shouldn't be paying for people. It's unconstitutional for us to be paying for other people's welfare, their people's well-being. We shouldn't have to fucking support them.
Well, another thing we were talking about at one point.
It's like a charity. That's our charity work.
Yeah.
That's the taxpayers' charity work.
Another thing we were talking about at one point, which is gonna sound really insensitive, but I just wanted to say it because it's fucking annoying, is how people use getting made fun of as an excuse for all this bullshit. Like a transgender, you know, or before the transition, they're ridiculed and made fun of, so they get the sex change, and then supposedly they're still made fun of so bad that they kill themselves. When what I was saying is that everyone on Earth has been made fun of at some point in their life, and that maybe not near as bad, but I've sure as hell been made fun of, and not at any point did I decide or think, you know, maybe I should kill myself because people laugh at me, because people think I'm stupid. You know, I think suicide is this, or I think being made fun of is a horrible excuse for suicide. It's a horrible excuse to, and that's why I think being transgender, what do they call it? I think it's a mental illness.
Yeah.
It's what gender? What the fuck do they call that illness?
Oh shit, I'm trying to remember. Gender dysphoria.
Yeah, gender dysphoria, and I'm losing my train of thought, dude. But what I was basically saying is that I lost it.
You were talking about how
I think it's a mental illness because the suicide rates have not after the transition. Okay, it's funny. For some reason, gays and transgenders always come up, but you know it's a big problem these days in the media, and it's just blown out of fucking proportion. You can do whatever you want with yourself in your life, and I'm fine. I'm not worried about it, but don't force the entire population of America to believe and to do this and to do that, and you know, they risk their businesses and they risk their entire lives, you know, or their businesses and their lives are threatened over bullshit nonsense that just doesn't matter. You know, just live your life and be happy.
Yeah,
you know,
and they say we are threatening to them and that whole culture that follows them, right? But it's them that are threatening us.
Mm-hmm.
Their level of control over that aspect of our lives we shouldn't have. If I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't even engage the dude that was trying to be a girl. I wouldn't even engage him. So why would I even have the I wouldn't even need to get any satisfaction out of calling it a man. I just know in my own mind it's a man.
I think the suicidal tendency is a small piece of evidence that this is a mental disorder, okay? Because I've been made fun of, most people have, okay? Fat people get made fun of all the time. You know, most of them don't give a shit. But being that quick to commit suicide over something like that's something very deep down, man. That's a mental disorder. You know what I'm saying? And
yes, it is. That is a mental disorder. It is. And it should be treated as one.
It should.
We shouldn't be focusing on...
We should at least, at the very least, have other options. Why are doctors and people so quick to you know, all right, let's cut that dick off, you know, and see how you feel afterwards. You can never get it back. It will not grow back unless you want to get a fake piece of prosthetic fucking dick and it looks like a goddamn zombie's looks like Frankenstein's penis.
Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner knows way more than these motherfuckers, obviously, because he kept his shit.
Yeah, it doesn't come back.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to be a woman anymore. He's probably walking around his house like a man again. Fucking just cut that fucking hair off.
Now, I'm not saying that you can't do whatever in the fuck you want to do. Of course you can, but you gotta at some point care about the population. And I care about these people. They're humans like we are. You know, I don't think... Maybe it is an option. If you want to go down that road, do it. Do whatever you want. But for these people, there's so many people committing suicide and they hate their lives. Let's at least come up with another option. Let's you know, take them in. Okay, do you really think you're a fucking woman? Like, I don't know. Give them some counseling. Give them, I don't know. We could come up with something better than just going straight to let's cut the dick off.
And it doesn't have anything to do with God or science or anything like that. Or it doesn't have anything to do with God. It has everything to do with science. It's not that us Christians want you to remain a man.
Yeah.
It can't be a woman.
Absolutely nothing in the Bible has told me to be like this.
That doesn't have any. This doesn't rule into anything.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with morals either at all by any means. It's nothing morally tells me you shouldn't be cutting your dick off. No, it's you know, you're not going to be any happier, and there's proof that tells people that you're not going to be any happier.
Yeah. You're just gonna find another thing to be upset about.
If
internally,
if you were born a man but you're a woman inside, then cutting your dick off and having a vagina and tits should help a lot. It shouldn't make it worse.
I think that these kids that have really bad issues, like really bad anxiety and shit like that, it's all these the anxiety that the kids from the boomer generation have is way, 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 way worse than the anxiety that the kids from their era when they were younger had. Because, and I think it's due to the amount of antidepressant and anti-anxiety drugs that came onto the market in their lifetime while they were either before they had kids or even after they had kids.
Yep.
Fuck it. Bye.
Evan sucks.